First of all, thank you guys so much for sharing. That was really, really beautiful, and I know really touched all of us here, and that you've decided to share this with us, because as much as it is a big deal for you guys and a joy for you, it is a joy for us to get to witness it and to be here. And I think that that's a deep part of what it means to be a Jew, is that you can't really be a Jew on your own, right? In fact, we're commanded to say a lot of the prayers in our tradition. You actually have to be in a group of 10. You can't be alone. So each of us are charged with finding some sort of community, finding some sort of people to celebrate our Judaism with. And the reason we do that is because we're human, and there are really crappy times in life when you need to be raised up by others' joy, and there are really joyful times in life that you need to really share with others and raise them up. And we do that to get ourselves out of our own heads, to get ourselves from living lives that are solely self-absorbed, that are just about us and our wants and our needs. So, before I conclude with the Mishaberach, the blessing for the Bat Mitzvah girl, I want to join as a community. I want you guys to all come up here. We're going to actually come on the platform over here, and we're going to surround our Bat Mitzvah girls.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to have, somebody needs to have a hand on one person, then everyone needs to be at least holding each other. So come on, I think let's go on the platform.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
That's how I'm going to put my hands on. Mazel tov. Thank you.
Much closer. Marissa, come forward. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Sahara Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech et Leron Bat Ephraim Yehuda Levi v'Sharona V'Mira Azva Bat Michael v'Neli Sarah Bat David v'Devorah, who have all come here to acknowledge their Bat Mitzvah. They give praise and thanks to the mystery that is God, for all that is good and for all that life has given to them. May God keep them and sustain them and direct their hearts to be whole and to walk in God's ways and to follow God's commandments all of their days. And let us say, Amen. Mazel tov! Okay.
I want pink.
What?
Okay.
Love that.
A quick story. Quick story. I'm a rabbi and I'm forced to by my inner rabbiness. Okay. Okay. So there's this Jew. There's this Jew.
I've heard this one before.
He walked into a bar. The bar was like 5'4" and he's. I can say that because I'm one. There's this Jew who lived in Prague, and he was tormented. Actually, he was a poor Jew, impoverished Jew, tormented by a recurring dream. And the dream was that he spent all his money to travel to Vienna to stand in front of the king's palace. But there's a bridge in front of the king's palace that led to the palace. It's a heavily guarded bridge. But underneath the beginning of that bridge, if you dug deep enough, there was a treasure. Yeah, it was a ridiculous dream that he had it night after night after night after night. And one day he decided he had to act. Maybe there was something to this dream. So he sold his possessions, not all of them, just enough to get, a ticket to Vienna. And he went there and he stood outside that bridge, that heavily guarded bridge. And he waited for the right moment. He had to wait weeks for the right moment for the guards to disappear so that he could dig and find out if there was that treasure. And after a few weeks, he found that right moment and he ran and he started digging with all of his might. But after a few minutes, he was grabbed by the scruff of his neck by a big non-Jewish guard who said, "Jew, what are you doing?" And in his fear, he just blurted out, I had this dream. I had a dream that there's a treasure awaiting me right here under this bridge. And the guard started laughing hysterically. And he says, "Oh, you silly Jew." He's like, "If I followed my dreams, I'd be digging under some Jew's house in Prague for a treasure of my own." And the Jew was let go of, and he went back to Prague, back to his house, and he started digging under his own backyard, and he found that treasure. He found that treasure in his own backyard, but he had to travel to Vienna. He had to travel elsewhere to find what was already his. So too have we on Birthright had to travel all the way to Israel to find something that was in our backyard, actually within ourselves already. Each of us have been on this journey, but we've been blessed with the story of 3 of our friends here this morning to hear their story and their journey. But I'd like to ask us to start reflecting and actually to start sharing our stories with each other. Okay, we're going to take a half an hour to break into small groups, and we're going to share a little bit of our story of how our identity has been affected by this trip. How we've come to see a part of ourselves that was probably there already, but we had to travel all the way to Israel to find. To have a bit of a reflective bat or bar mitzvah of our own, second time around. No cash this time. So, please break into your rooms. I'd like actually to join with your roommates in just small little reflection groups and to share a little bit about how your identity has been changed, about how you're feeling as a Jew. Right now, today, this Shabbat, after having witnessed these mitzvah as part of your Shabbat reflection.
Find wherever you want.